Donald Trump, a name synonymous with success, controversy, and relentless ambition. From his days as a real estate tycoon in New York City to his 4 years as the 45th President of the United States, Trump has been at the center of public attention for decades. His business ventures, television fame, and later political career have all contributed to his larger-than-life persona. Yet despite his remarkable rise to power, Trump's legacy is marred by controversy, particularly the events surrounding January 6, 2021, which have left a lasting impact on American politics and public discourse. Today, we take an in-depth look at the life and career of Donald Trump, from his beginnings as a business mogul to his turbulent presidency, the controversial end to his time in office, and the fallout from January 6th. We'll explore how he became one of the most polarizing figures in modern history and what the future might hold for Trump and his influence on American politics. Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in Queens, New York, into a wealthy family with deep roots in real estate development. His father, Fred Trump, was a successful businessman who built affordable housing across New York City, laying the foundation for the Trump family's wealth. From a young age, Donald was taught the importance of business, hard work, and, as his father famously put it, winning. Trump attended the New York Military Academy during his teenage years, where he learned discipline and leadership skills that would later serve him well in both business and politics. After graduating from the Wharton School of Finance at the University of Pennsylvania in 1968, Trump joined his father's real estate business, quickly making a name for himself as a savvy dealmaker. In the 1970s and 1980s, Trump expanded the family business, taking bold risks and turning his focus to high-profile projects. His developments included the construction of luxury hotels, office buildings, and casinos, many of which bore his now famous name. Trump Tower, completed in 1983, became a symbol of his success and ambition, towering over Manhattan's Fifth Avenue. His brash style, combined with his ability to generate media attention, made him a fixture in New York's elite circles. Throughout the 1990s, Trump's business empire faced challenges. Some of his ventures struggled financially, and several of his casinos and hotels filed for bankruptcy. However, Trump was a master at maintaining his public image, often spinning his business difficulties as learning experiences. His personal brand continued to grow, and in the early 2000s, he reinvented himself yet again as a television personality. In 2004, Trump launched the reality TV show The Apprentice, where he played the role of a tough, no-nonsense businessman overseeing a group of contestants competing for a job in his organization. The show was an instant hit, and Trump's catchphrase, "You're fired," the swing became a cultural phenomenon. For over a decade, The Apprentice and its spin-offs kept Trump in the spotlight, elevating him from a real estate mogul to a household name across America. Despite his television success, Trump had long harbored political ambitions. As early as the late 1980s, he publicly flirted with the idea of running for president, but it wasn't until June 16, 2015, that he formally announced his candidacy for the Republican nomination. His campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," resonated with millions of Americans who felt left behind by globalization and rapid social change. Trump's message of economic nationalism, coupled with his tough stance on immigration and foreign policy, struck a chord with voters. Trump's presidential campaign was unconventional, to say the least. His rallies drew massive crowds, and his use of social media, particularly Twitter, allowed him to communicate directly with supporters. But his campaign was also marked by a series of controversial remarks and personal attacks on opponents, which earned him both criticism and admiration. Many political analysts dismissed Trump as a long-shot candidate, but his appeal to a large, frustrated segment of the American electorate propelled him to the top of the Republican primaries. Against all odds, Trump secured the Republican nomination, and in November 2016, he defeated Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton in one of the most stunning electoral upsets in U.S. history. Trump's victory shocked political insiders and pollsters, who had largely predicted a Clinton win. His supporters saw the election as a rejection of the political establishment, while his critics worried about the implications of his often divisive rhetoric. As president, Donald Trump pursued an agenda that was deeply rooted in the promises he made on the campaign trail. His administration focused on deregulation, significant tax cuts, and reshaping trade policies in favor of American workers. Trump's America First approach was most evident in his decisions ordinary to withdraw from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord and renegotiate trade deals such as NAFTA, which was replaced by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. His administration also took a hard line on immigration, implementing controversial policies that included the travel ban on several Muslim-majority countries and the family separation policy at the U.S.-Mexico border. These policies sparked fierce debate across the country, with Trump's supporters praising his efforts to secure the nation's borders, while his detractors accused him of promoting xenophobia. Throughout his presidency, Trump maintained a strong connection with his base, using Twitter to communicate directly with his followers, bypassing traditional media outlets that he often referred to as fake news. This strategy allowed him to rally support even in the face of intense media scrutiny and multiple investigations, including the inquiry into Russian interference in the 2016 election. Despite the controversies, Trump survived an impeachment trial in 2019, remaining a force in American politics. In 2020, Trump's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic became a central issue in his bid for re-election. While his administration pushed for the rapid development of vaccines through Operation Warp Speed, his critics accused him of downplaying the severity of the pandemic and mishandling the government's response. The pandemic's economic fallout, combined with nationwide protests following the killing of George Floyd, created a politically charged atmosphere heading into the November election. On November 3, 2020, Trump faced off against former Vice President Joe Biden. While early results seemed to favor Trump, as mail-in ballots were counted, the tide shifted in Biden's favor. After several days of counting, Biden was declared the winner with 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. However, Trump and many of his supporters refused to accept the results, alleging widespread voter fraud despite no substantial evidence to support these claims. In the weeks following the election, Trump and his legal team launched numerous lawsuits in battleground states, all of which were dismissed by the courts. Nonetheless, Trump continued to assert that the election had been stolen from him, a message that resonated with many of his followers. As January 6, 2021, approached, the date Congress was set to certify the Electoral College results, the tension in the country reached a boiling point. On January 6, thousands of Trump supporters gathered in Washington, D.C., for a rally where Trump delivered a speech reiterating his claims about the election. Shortly after, a group of individuals marched to the U.S. Capitol, breaching security and storming the building. The chaos that ensued shocked the world, leading to widespread condemnation from both Democrats and Republicans. The events of January 6th resulted in injuries, arrests, and tragically, several deaths. The images of rioters inside the Capitol were broadcast across the globe, marking one of the darkest days in modern American political history. In the aftermath, Trump faced intense criticism for his role in the events of that day. On January 13, 2021, the House of Representatives impeached Trump for a second time, charging him with incitement of insurrection. This made Trump the first president in U.S. history to be impeached twice. The trial moved to the Senate in February, where Trump was ultimately acquitted, as the required two-thirds majority for conviction was not reached. In the months following January 6th, investigations and hearings were conducted to examine the causes and consequences of the events. Trump, meanwhile, remained defiant, continuing to assert that the 2020 election was rigged and that his political movement was far from over. Despite being banned from several social media platforms, Trump's influence within the Republican Party remained strong, with many candidates seeking his endorsement for local and national elections. As of now, Donald Trump remains a highly influential figure in American politics. Speculation about a potential presidential run in 2024 continues to grow, with Trump frequently hinting at the possibility during public appearances. His supporters view him as a leader who fought for their interests against an entrenched political establishment, while his critics see him as a divisive figure whose actions continue to shape the political landscape. Donald Trump's legacy is a complex one, marked by business success, political disruption, and deep controversy. Whether he chooses to re-enter the political arena or not, his influence on the Republican Party and American politics will be felt for years to come. From his rise as a real estate mogul to his unprecedented presidency, Trump's story is a testament to the power of celebrity, populism, and the enduring impact of one man's vision for the country